Okay. All right, so the last time we were all together, which was on Thursday, and we learned how to look at a number that had decimals and how to write it in expanded form. So I wasn't able to give you a homework assignment that Thursday night because there were still parts of lesson 2, chapter 2, that we didn't cover. And my fear was that you were going to go home and have pieces of your homework assignment, which is normally comes from your workbook, right? I was afraid you were going to have pieces of the homework that you weren't going to know how to do. And so then you were going to need help from somebody at home, and I just thought it might kind of create a big kind of like mess. So I just decided not to give you homework on Thursday night, but let Friday be an activity for you to work on what we did in class on Thursday, which was decimals in expanded form. And so that's what you're holding on your desktop right in front of you today. That's what you did on Friday. So we're going to take a minute and kind of quickly check over this to see how you did, to make sure that everybody is completely clear on how to do this skill. Because if this is a skill that's going to show up on your test, yes, this is something that will show up on your test. So we've got to make sure that everybody completely understands how to do this stuff. So the first thing that I felt like I was getting a couple of emails about on this assignment, a few of you all, when you were working on this at your house on Friday, you kind of were sending me emails asking me questions like, Miss Malone, do we have to do the whole number in expanded form? Yes. You always have to do every digit that you see. You are required to show that digit in expanded form. So let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, everybody, let's look together at the very first problem, which, can somebody tell me how to say number 1? Like, what would be number 1's name? What would that number be called? Olivia?
56 and 987,000.
Perfect. So that's how I would say that number's name. 56 and 987,000. So the first job was to write this thing in expanded form. There are some of you in here who thought you only had to do the decimal digits in expanded form. And that would be wrong on a test. If you only did the decimal digits, then you're saying that the only numbers that are there are the 9, the 8, and the 7, and that's not true. You should know how to do numbers in whole number land in expanded form already, because we did that like in 3rd grade and 4th grade and then chapter 1 of 5th grade. How would I do 56 in expanded form, Cassidy?
You would do 50 plus 6.
I would do 50 plus 6. Because the 5 is in the tens place and its value is 50. The 6 is in the ones place, its value is 6. But I have to keep going because now I have digits in decimal land. What's the value of my 9 now, Brody?
9/10.
How would I write that?
I did the fraction way and I put 9/10.
Okay, so he chose to do fractions, which is fine. So he shows 9's value is 9/10, and then he had to add that to 8's value. What did you make 8's value look like?
8/100.
8/100. And then he had to add that to the last digit, which was 7, and what did you make that one?
7/1000.
Good. So that's how he chose to do that answer. But maybe not everybody chose to do it that way. Are there people in the audience who chose to do the numbers as decimals instead of as fractions? Did you, Max?
Yes.
So what does yours look like? You should have the same stuff in the front, right? 50 plus 6. But what does your 9/10 look like?
Plus 0.9.
Good.
Plus 0.8. Plus 0.8.
Good.
Plus 0.007.
Perfect. So for number 1, that was the answer I was searching for. And you could have done it either way, okay? I don't care how you do it. The only time it matters is when the directions say, write it as a decimal. If the directions are asking it to be done using decimals, then you have to do it with decimals, okay? Or if the directions are saying do it as a fraction, you have to do it as a fraction. So are there anybody in here who doesn't see, like somebody who did it as a fraction, do you see how they came up with these decimal numbers also?
Yeah.
And vice versa, the people who did it as decimals, do you see how they came up with the fractions? So if it asked you to do it a specific way, would you be able to do it?
Yeah.
All right, let's check and see how your answers look. Ready? So number one, we just did it. This is what number one should look like. Number two should be 40 plus 8 plus 0.7 plus 0.007, or sorry, 0.7, my fault, plus 0.002. Okay. If you did it as a fraction, then it would be 40 plus 8 plus 7 over 10 plus 7 over 1,000, gosh, 100, plus 2 over 1,000. Sorry, brain burps. All right, number three, ready? 50 plus 6 plus 0.7 plus 0.09 plus 0.009. And if you did it as fractions, then it would be 7 over 10, 9 over 100, and then 9 over 1,000. Who did it in fractions in here, just so I can see a show of hands? All right, so we were about evenly split. Who did it in decimal form? Okay, all right, so I'll have to tell you both ways each one. For number 4, should be 70 plus 9 plus 0.4 plus 0.07 plus 0.006. As a fraction, then it would just be 4 over 10, 7 over 100, 6 over 1,000. All right, now some of you are staring up here at the wall as I'm giving answers. There's no answers on this wall. So if you're staring up at the wall, you're not focused. Your focus should be on where your answers are so that you can check to make sure that these answers you got correct. Yes, sir.
Did you say number 3 in the fraction way?
I think I did, but in case you didn't hear me, I'm only going to give you like the numbers that are fractions. 7 over 10, 9 over 100, 9 over 1,000. Okay. All right, number 5, 30 plus 7 plus 0.9 plus 0.06 plus 0.002. I was on the numbers that were on. Number 6, 20 plus 8 plus 0.3 plus 0.03 plus 0.009. Question, what?
You didn't say number 5.
I'm not repeating. Because see, I'm having to repeat because some of you weren't listening or focusing when I was giving the first answers. So I'll have to check it on my own then. Because we're on number 7 now. Number 7, for those of you just joining the room, we're checking our answers. So get a checking pin out. We're on number 7. We're going to turn these things in. So for those of you who didn't have a chance to check the first couple of ones, I'll check those for you. And if you missed an answer because you don't know what the answer was, circle the number so that I can go back and look at that one for you. What?
Oh, we didn't say the fraction forms.
I did say the fraction forms for all 6 so far. For number 7, 40 plus 2 plus 0.5 plus 0.05 plus 0.001. If you chose to do it as fractions, you would have had 5 over 10 plus 5 over 100 plus 1 over 1,000. Number 8. So if you're just joining us, James, get a red checking pin out. We're on number 8. So for those of you just walking back into the room, you should circle numbers 1 through 7 or 1 through 6, however many you missed the answers to, so that when I get your paper in my hands, I'll know that I need to check those numbers for you because you didn't hear the answers. All right, number 8. 60 plus 8 plus 0.5 plus 0.05 plus 0.002. If you did it as fractions, then it would be 5/10, 5/100, 2/1000. Okay? All right, number 9. 80 plus 3 plus 0.8 plus 0.02 plus 0.001. As fractions, 8/10, 2/100, 1/1000. Number 10, 50 plus 5 plus 0.7 plus 0.05 plus 0.005. Should be 7/10, 5/100, 5/1000. Number 11, 50 plus 9 plus 0.1 plus 0.05 plus, I don't even know, 0.002. So it would be 1/10, 5/100, 2/1000. Number 12, 50 plus 8 plus 0.4 plus 0.03 plus 0.007. 4/10, 3/100, 7/1000. 13, 20 plus 2 plus 0.2 plus 0.07 plus 0.007. 2/10, 7/100, 7/1000. Number 14, 90 plus 5 plus 0.3 plus 0.08 plus 0.007. 3/10, 8/100, 7/1000. And then the last one, which was 15, should be 10 plus 9 plus 0.2 plus 0.09 plus 0.006. Or 2/10, 9/100, 6/1000. All right, how do we do? Okay. So here's what I want you to do. Identify your error. Where was your error? Did your error come in that like maybe you forgot to do the numbers in the front? Like that happened with some kids across the hall. They only did the decimal numbers value and they didn't do the whole number land value. Okay, or maybe they just said that 5's value was 5 and whole number land. Well, that's not true. 5's value wouldn't just be 5 if it's in the tens place, it would be 50, right? So identify your mistake because that's how you learn. Putting an X on your paper doesn't make you learn. It's looking at where the X is and what did you get an X for? Why did you have to mark that wrong? Once you know what you did wrong, now you're learning. And that's what matters the most. What?
What I taught me having to erase and redo it was when I was like doing the whole number line, when I was adding those numbers, I would, instead of going 50 plus 6, I would go 56 plus.
Oh, you've got to do each individual digit. But you figured that out.
Yeah,
On the test, if you did something like that, you would lose points. Because expanded form is every single digit being expanded out.
Okay. Wrong, I fixed them up there.
All right. So this is yours to keep, but what I want you to do is give yourself a score. Everybody's getting 100% for doing it. Okay? Because you did the assignment that I asked you to do. But you are now going to judge yourself, how well do you know this? There were 15 questions. If you got all 15 correct, then your score would be 15/15, which would equal 100%. If you missed one, your score would be a 14/15, and your score would probably be, I'm guessing, about a 92. Let me use my calculator to see. So you would have to ask the calculator, 14 divided by 15, 93. 93. So each one's worth 7 points. So if you miss 2, your fraction would be 13 over 15. So then you would lose another 7 points. Okay? Everybody's getting 100% for doing the work, but you don't want to make the mistakes that you made on this on a quiz or on a test, because that's when it isn't just participation, but it's actually what your brain knows. And don't let your brain have those goofy mistakes. What? So, well, that's okay. You just need to make sure that you teach yourself it's not 5 plus 9. What's 5 value? Yeah, so this should be 50 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8 plus 0. But I thought you got these all used up. You have to make sure that you have all of that. What street that? No, you did the decimal part right. Where's the whole tree that's up? So what place was that?
Yeah, I already put on. Let me do I already
Okay. Yes, that's one thing. No, gosh. Can you hold off on that for just a second? Okay. So now we have to move into the next thing we have to do in math. Okay. So I know this is your snack time. I have even until about 15 more minutes. So if you have a snack and you want to get it out, I guess I'll go ahead and let you. But you've got to make sure you focus because you're going to be taking some notes. So what I'm getting ready to teach you now is going to go with tonight's homework assignment. So I need everybody making sure that while they're eating, they're also paying attention. I'll give you till I count to 20 to get your things out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need your shields up if you're eating the snack. If you can take your masks off. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, we should all be ready to go. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to learn how to do what it is that we left off learning how to do, which was how to write numbers in expanded form as a decimal. Okay. So what do you need, honey? Huh? Go quickly and grab it so that we can get these notes. Okay. So the last time we were together, everybody, this is what we worked on doing, which was how to take a number and put it in expanded form. Okay? That was what you just did on your NTI day. That was the practice. You had notes about this stuff already. So we just checked it on your homework. You should feel good on this, right? Okay. Looking at kind of how most of you said you performed on that worksheet, it looks like you understand how to do this stuff. So now we have to keep building because that's what math is. It's a building. So now we're going to build on top of that. So our next thing that we're going to learn how to do is, okay, well, what happens if instead of just having a number, but I have a number that's being multiplied by another number, and I have to put that in standard form. Let me show you what I mean, okay? That sounds a lot scarier than really what it is. So So let's say that we had a number like, oopsies, 7. Why is it not picking up my marker? Hold on. Is it gonna work now? Okay. 7. Let's try it over here. Maybe it'll work over here. Okay. Strange things are happening. All right, 7 times 1 over 10. All right. So now, I just wrote that up there on the board, and there's some of you in the audience who are like a little bit panicking because you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, this looks scary and hard. It's a whole number that she's asking me to multiply by a fraction, and I haven't learned how to do that yet. Well, you kind of have. So, hands down, be a learner right now. You're a listener, okay? I want you to pretend for a moment that this 10 was not there. And all you saw was 7 times 1. Everybody in this room would be able to tell me what 7 times 1 is, right?
Yeah.
What is it? 7. So if it's not just a 1, but it's a 1/10, what do you think 7 times 1/10 is going to be? Not 70. Not 70. Xander?
7/10.
7/10. It's just going to be 7/10. So how would I write 7/10? How would I write it?
Do 7 over 10.
I could make it a fraction, 7 over 10. But look at what the directions say. It says write as a decimal. So instead of writing it as 7 over 10, the directions are now telling me I have to put it as a decimal. What does 7/10 look like as a decimal, Cassidy? 7/10. The 7 has to be in the 10th spot. 0.7, very good. This is what that looks like in standard form. That's how you write a number as a decimal that was in expanded form. Okay? So all they did was take basically what we did yesterday, where we took whole numbers and we added them to fractions. That's all they did. They took a whole number and then they multiplied it by a fraction to get a number. And the number that they got was 0.7. Let's try another one. Ready? Try this one. Okay, here's another example. Try 6 times 1/10. Tell me what my number would be if I did 6 times 1/10. Everybody should be trying this and putting the answer down. Yes, this is snack time, but snack time didn't mean take a break from math time. It means eat while you learn. What is it, Brady?
If you first, below the 6, put a 1 to be able to make that a fraction.
Okay, you could, yeah.
And then you would just multiply across, which would be 6 times 1, which equals 6. Then 1 times 10, which equals 10, which is 6/10.
Good.
And then that decimal is also 0.6.
Very good. Now, Brady kind of did some extra steps there. He turned that 6 into a fraction. You can do that if that makes it easier on you. But you don't have to, okay? So you're just basically saying 6 times 1/10 is 6/10. So what do you think it would be if we did instead of having a number multiplied by a 10th, we had a number multiplied by 100. So what if it was 8 times 1 over 100? Is it going to be anything different? No. It's just now, instead of having a number that's gonna be in the 10th place, we're gonna have a number that's gonna be in the 100th place. Brandon, what's this gonna look like?
0.08.
That's it. 800. Yes?
Yeah.
What if it had a number in the thousandths place? And it was a 2-digit number, like 14 times 1 over 1,000. What would that look like? Be careful, because now I gave you a 2-digit number in the front. You're not going to do anything different. It's just the last digit in my answer needs to be in the thousandths place. Colin, what's it going to look like?
0.014.
There you go. 0.014. All right, show of thumbs. Where are we? All right, looks like the crowd's saying we get this. Okay, all right, let's put yesterday's or the last lesson that we did and today's lesson together. Okay? So, let's insert a blank page, and we're going to put two things together into this one lesson. I'm going to get my math book. All right. So let's do this. The title of this kind of activity would be learning how to write a number in expanded form in standard form. So what this means is, for this example, they're going to give you a number in expanded form, and they want you to put it in standard form. So it's always easiest to start what we know how to do. So if this didn't have any decimals with it, and it was just a whole number, and the whole number was this, that's expanded form, right? I have taken each digit's value and added it to each other. And I want you to show me what that looks like as a standard form number. What would you do? What would you do, James?
You would have the 3 in the 100th place, the 4 in the 10th, the 10th place, and the 7 in the 1.
Perfect. That's all you would do. So do you think it's going to get harder if we add decimals to it? No. We're still going to do the same thing. It's just now we're going to have numbers in decimal length. Okay? So let's try one like that. Let's say that I have, here's another example. Let's say that I have 50 plus 7 plus 0.9 plus 0.006. What's my number? I gave it to you in expanded form. You're going to give it to me in standard form. So I gave you some whole numbers and some decimal numbers. Oh.
But I just touched the screen.
No,
Yeah.
it kind of just died out on me. Well, you have it written.
I don't.
You don't?
I would just
It was, I'll read it out loud while we wait for the thing to wake back up. It was 50 plus 7 plus 0.9 plus 0.06. Okay. What's this thing going to look like in standard form? Tessa, what's it going to look like?
57.
Maybe, yeah. Hang on. Got all kinds of action happening. Okay, 57.
And
Uh-huh.
906.
Excellent. 906 thousandths. Beautiful.
This is
This is easy. Oh my god.
It's the same thing happened to Miss Green.
Okay. It happened to her too? Well, I don't know what to say. All right, but it doesn't stop there. The excitement just keeps building. Okay. So now, what if instead of me giving you like the 0.9 and the 0.006, what if I gave it to you as that like multiplication thing? Okay, would it make it harder? No. So we don't have to get panicked. All right, so let's check this out. Let's hope it doesn't conk out again. All right, let me give you one from the book test. Ready? Try this one. Ready? Last one, then we'll have to stop. So let's do 4 times 1/10 plus 9 times 1/100 plus 2 times 1/1000. Now, you don't have to get nervous. You literally just work in pieces. What's 4 times 1/10, everybody? 4/10. How would I write 4/10? Just say it. 0.4. Okay? But now I'm going to add to that 9 times 1/100, which is what? 900. So now I'm just going to put my 9 in the 100th spot. And then what's the last one? 2,000. The 2's going to be in my thousands. That's standard form. Okay, you all get it?
Yeah.
All right, tonight, your homework is to practice that stuff we just did. It'll have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that. Okay? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that. Okay? And that is to complete workbook pages 19 and 20. Okay? Do it in your workbook and it's due tomorrow. We good? All right, I think you got it.